Hey y'all, welcome to our podcast. You've got Rebecca, Lisa, and Heidi here today. This is Rebecca. We're going to start off today by kind of doing a bit of an update about how we did with our meeting and with our weight loss this week. Talk a little bit about what do you do when you're feeling some discouragement, and then talk about like new recipes or foods that we've been able to try while on Weight Watchers that we might not have tried otherwise. So I'll start off in terms of update. I have gained now for the second week in a row. Last week I was up, I think, 1 point something, and today I'm up like 2.4 pounds, which is part of why we're going to talk about discouragement. Heidi, what about you? What is your update today?
Y'all, this is a good topic for me too. I'm up 0.6 this week. 0.6 is what I'm up, which means that I'm actually up 1.2 over the past 3 weeks. The past 3 weeks have been really hard, so this is a great topic for me to talk about this week.
And this is Lisa. I was up last week, and I'm the same this week, so...
Hey, not too shabby being the same.
Well, sometimes all you got to do is maintain. You know? Yeah, so let's talk about discouragement. So I wanted to share a little bit. So I didn't have a scale for a couple weeks, and then I got a scale and have been weighing in more frequently again. And what that means is that I'm experiencing the roller coaster every day. So when I'm up, I'm like, yay! Or when I'm down, I'm like, yay! When I'm up, I'm frustrated. And the way that I seem to be on this weight loss journey is that I have 2 weeks that I gain, and then 1 week that I'll lose, and then 2 or 3 weeks that I'll gain, and then 1 week that I lose. And overall, I'm trending down, but it means that for several weeks of a month, I'm having to work through the frustration and discouragement. And so I thought it would be helpful for us to talk a little bit about what helps you when you're feeling discouraged, and how do you kind of work through that and stick with it. I have some thoughts as well, but I guess I want to see, Lisa, Heidi, if you have any thoughts we should start off with.
So I've been feeling... Part of my discouragement is my own. I mean, it's all my fault, I guess. But part of it is like my own active. I'm not subconsciously doing something, but because we weigh in on Saturday, I will often goof off on Sunday, Monday, sometimes Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, because in the past I've been able to kind of. I would adhere to my points, but I wouldn't eat the right kinds of food, or I'd have more sugar or had more salt. But then, at the end of the week, if I was good for 2 or 3 days before weigh-in, I would still lose. And so that's not happening anymore, probably because I've been on Weight Watchers for a while, so I'm not able to goof off as frequently anymore.
Yeah.
And so part of it is I feel like I get really discouraged the last few days and I want to give up, so then my whole week is shot. And so I feel like I need some more midweek motivation to kind of help me have a midweek goal that I'm hitting so that I'm not goofing off and not using that time wisely.
That makes a lot of sense. What do you think helps you, or what are you thinking of in terms of the midweek?
Well, so this week I'm going to try, I'm going to weigh in every day, and I know they don't recommend that, but I feel like in my instance that will motivate me. Up or down, either way, it probably will be motivating. And I'm going to send my weight to you and Lisa every day. And hopefully throughout the week it'll trend down.
Do you want comments, feedback? You just want accountability. Smiley faces, frowny faces.
Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's just let it organically unfold.
We'll just let it sit. We won't say anything.
I feel like having that accountability, though, will help. I've also been toying with the idea, and I'm not really sure how to do this, but deciding that I'm going to take pictures of everything I eat for maybe Monday and Tuesday or something. And
oh, wow.
I don't know, like, showing it to someone. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do with that because I'm not really like an Instagram or Facebook person in terms of that kind of stuff, but some kind of accountability that I'm like sharing that with somebody so that if I eat a whole bunch of donuts or whatever it is, that there's the accountability for that.
I bet that would be a great thing to do on Connect, because then you'd be posting to other people that are understanding the point of accountability.
Well, that's a good idea. I'll do it on Connect. I hadn't even thought about that. I feel like that'll help my discouragement because then I'll see a result. And so if at the end of next week I see a result, then I'll feel it'll be easier the next week to not be so discouraged.
Yeah. Lisa, what are your thoughts? What helps you?
Well, I think, so for me, this has been a really bizarre time in my life where I don't have a lot of control over some things. And so what helps me is when I have things sort of planned out ahead of time. I have a regular pattern. I know exactly what food I should eat every day to lose weight. I know exactly how to do it every single week. But when I don't do it is when there's lack of consistency in my life, or when I'm feeling emotional, and that's just happening like a lot now. So like multiple days where I wake up and everything's fine, and then like something happens or whatever, I'm not going to go into details, but something happens, and then I have an emotional reaction, and then all of a sudden it's like I feel like I deserve to have, like there's a deserve feeling, like I should have whatever I want because I'm experiencing this emotion, which is unhealthy. And because of sort of the turbulence in my life recently, I haven't been able to really have a consistent pattern that I require to lose weight. And I think I was thinking about it when Heidi was talking, and I think what's actually phenomenal though is, even though I haven't had the same success that I know how to have, normally I would have gained like 20 pounds in this experience. Like I'm sort of surprised, because I've had periods in my life where something changed or something was, tough time like now. And like, I wasn't even trying to lose weight or anything. I was eating whatever I wanted, and I would gain a lot in those time periods, like game-changing amounts of weight. And then I would have to like spend months or years trying to lose it. And I'm actually sort of really impressed that like Weight Watchers has kept me, at least if I've had a gain, it's like a pound or two. It's not like 10 pounds, which I have literally gained that much in 1 or 2 weeks before, just by having an emotional reaction to something. So I think this is actually a good thing. Today in our meeting, we talked about controlled gains for like holidays. Instead of gaining 10 pounds over the holiday, can you maybe set a goal to only gain 2 pounds? And so for me, I think the stressful time to have only gained a couple, I think that actually helps with the discouragement, because yeah, I wish I was lower, but boy, I'm so glad that I've not completely destroyed all of my progress, because I have been close enough to Weight Watchers to not go back into my old habits. So
I feel like I want to give up every day. Like every day I'm like, well, I just screw it.
Yeah.
And the other day, actually, we had these little mini donuts. I don't know why I buy these things. It's because my family wants to eat them, and they're fine. But I gave up for like 30 minutes. I had like 6 donuts. I'm like, screw it, I'm eating the donuts, and I ate like 6 of them. And then it's like I caught myself and was like, whoa, what are you doing? You're gonna ruin all of your progress that you just made. And so I still had to go to dinner, and I had an egg white omelet because that was low points. That was probably 7 points, because it was just vegetables and egg whites, so and so I still stuck to the plan by kind of compensating later. Mm-hmm. But I'd given up. I was like, forget it, I'm off, I'm giving up.
Well, I feel like part of what I'm hearing too, kind of this theme of building awareness that going off for 6 donuts doesn't mean going off for the whole day or 3 weeks. It's, I need to be healthy in the evening to kind of balance out and counteract what I did earlier, or having awareness that I am gaining, but it's a controlled gain, and that this is very different than what it might have been in the past. And then allowing that to be a motivating factor moving forward.
And I think you go through series or seasons of it. Like, I give up every day for like the past 3 weeks, which is why I've been gaining, because I haven't been, I stayed to plan, but like I ate a lot of sugar, and I know that affects my body more than other things.
Yeah.
And so, but the 3 weeks prior to that, I was feeling great. And so, it's almost like I just need to like catch myself enough times until this period of discouragement is over, and I can get back onto the season of I'm doing awesome.
Yeah.
And I think too, like, we've been sort of conditioned to think that this is not going to be so hard, because we see before and after pictures, and people talk about like, oh, I lost this or I lost that, and we don't spend enough time talking about the struggle of the journey. I think, like, especially when you have a lot of weight to lose, it takes a long time. This is an ongoing process, and this discouraging moment right now is going to be repeated like 100,000 times, whatever, between now and when we finally hit the weight that we want to be at. And it might take time, but if it wasn't this journey, there's no other method that we've been able to come up with that has, where we would have at least, been this successful so far. Even if that success is defined as not gaining too much.
Like Rebecca said in the podcast prior to this one, I think she said, like, what's the alternative? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I could quit, but what am I going to do that's going to be better?
Because I still want to be healthy.
Right.
And I still want to lose weight. And so even if it's taking a long period of time, that's part of the process.
And anything else we do is still going to be a restriction to eating whatever you want.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to go through the same process with that plan, whatever it is. So at least this plan lets you have donuts sometimes.
That's right.
True story.
Well, and I think what you said too is really important, which is, it just went away. What did you say that was really important?
A lot of stuff. I said a lot of stuff.
It was really good.
I don't remember. It'll come back to me. That more people need to talk about this. So that's actually one reason I wanted for us to have this topic as our podcast today, because I think Heidi, you and I are kind of in the midst, Lisa, you're kind of working through stuff as well. And I feel like part of me wanted to say, okay, well, when we're done with it, then we can do a podcast of all the things that we did that helped us to get through it. But the reality is some days it just sucks, and that's just how it is. And kind of the things that are helping me work through my discouragement, and I've been dealing with this week, knowing that, watching the scale and know that I've been gaining, is that I've been doing really healthy things. And I didn't have a bad week this week. I didn't do behavior that warrants gaining 2 pounds. So that's part of my frustration. But the reality
She didn't,
is,
y'all. I went out to dinner with her last night. And she was the one who I went to dinner with another friend. And my friend had got a chocolate torte with ice cream on top.
Yeah.
And had saved some of it for her. And she did not eat it.
That's right. And they had a double chocolate cheesecake piece that was calling my name when I got there, called my name all through dinner.
She really did have a good week.
I really did have
I would have been like, that's only a few bites.
I would have been trying, and I could have it. The plan says I could have it, but I knew where I was with my goals. And anyway, so I feel like this morning's meeting encapsulated a lot of things that helped me. And so part of that is recognizing that I'm getting discouraged and allowing myself to feel the emotion of that. I teared up in our meeting today, not because of what was being said. I was in my head most of the meeting. But because I'm sad, because it's when you work this hard for something that means this much to you and you don't feel like you're successful, it's okay to be sad about that. And in the past, I would say, don't be sad, just feel better and not experience the emotion. I feel like part of this is allowing myself to feel the emotion, to not get discouraged, but to mourn the loss of the success that I would have had, and then to work my way through that. And so I allowed myself to get sad. And as the meeting went on, I was doing some research, and I was looking back I looked back at my map of my overall plan on the Weight Watchers app, and saw that I legitimately have this trend that I will drop, and then I'll gain, and then I'll drop. And so I'm still at a good low. My low point is low, but my high point is numbers that I've had for the last 6 months, but I'm still trending down. And so then I went through my app and I looked at the weeks that I gained. I went back and looked at my food record for those weeks.
Okay, you really did do some research in that meeting.
That's what you asked how I thought of the meeting. I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the meeting. But again, I think that's one thing that helps me about meetings, not about what's happening in the meeting, but it gives me a chance to
time to reflect
and to think and be purposeful. So I went back and I looked, and I did notice that the weeks that I gained, I tended to have negatives or start using fit points, which is really just code for negatives for my weekly points. Now, it didn't correlate that the times that I lost, I was on point the whole time, because I had some weeks that I lost and I was still in the negative with weeklies. But one of the consistent things was that, and also like you had said, Heidi, the type of food that I eat makes a difference. I can be in points and have sodium, and I'm going to gain every single week.
Yeah. That sodium. Jeez.
I know.
Every time, but it's so good.
Another thing that was helping me is I was thinking about, kind of on a serious note, like I was thinking about my friend that passed away a couple years ago. And every day that I'm alive is a blessing. And every day that I can work to improve who I want to be and to experience joy in my life is a blessing. And so it's okay to be sad and it's okay to get discouraged at times, but I am not going to let that discouragement override my gratitude that I get another day on this earth, and I get another day with my sweet nephews, and I get another day with my family, and I get another day to keep trying things. And I feel like that helped me to kind of shift a little bit. So I feel like I'm headed up from that discouragement because, you know what, I have a body and I'm grateful for my body, and I can move and try, and that's worth it for me.
Well, that feels like just a really good place to end.
Let's move to that lighter topic of
death isn't something you guys want to be talking about right now. Okay, so second topic is foods or recipes.
Wait, we can't move on without validating your thoughts.
It's fine.
Rebecca, thank you for sharing that insightful thoughts with us.
We're so happy that you want to spend more time with us.
We too appreciate every day that you're here.
We didn't mean to make light of it.
We just
unexpected.
got real serious, real fast.
We're real, y'all. Okay, so foods or recipes that you've been able to try that you don't know that you would have without Weight Watchers, or that Weight Watchers has inspired you to do.
So the first one that I thought of is egg whites. I never have liked egg whites. I think they're gross. I say that actively because egg whites by themselves are gross. But I've been using them a lot more. So when I have eggs in the morning, I have eggs with salsa in the morning. I'll use like some egg whites and like one egg to kind of fluff it out for me. And that's, 2 points for a protein-filled breakfast that kind of keeps me full, till 10:30ish when I need another snack. But egg whites is the first one that I'm thinking of.
I have a whole bunch of things. Mangoes. I'd never had a mango.
You'd never had a mango?
I never purchased a mango. I had a mango. Oh. I never purchased a mango, peeled a mango. I've had several since I've been on Weight Watchers, but just trying new fruits. There's a dragon fruit that I saw at the store the other day that I really wanted to get to try. But it was like $7, so
that's how I feel about pomegranates. I want to try. I mean, I've had pomegranate. I've bought them and used them, but I want them because I like them. Yeah. But they're expensive.
I made 2 recipes this week with butternut squash, which I'd never cooked with before, and they actually turned out really good, and I liked those.
Were they just soups? The only ones I ever see are soup recipes.
So one was a soup. It was a beef and stew, Giada Laurentiis, which I'm actually going to post it on the blog later this week. But it was a really good, and it was Weight Watchers friendly. It called for wine, and we don't drink, so we didn't use wine. But, and the other one was a little weird. I didn't love it as much.
I liked it. It was really good. It was cinnamony.
It was like some sort of a, I don't know. It was meat and squash and onion and cinnamon.
So it was like chopped squash, not like pureed squash.
It was kind of like sweet beef.
It felt a little bit like on Friends when they talked about the trifle.
Like, what's not to like? Onion? Good. Beef? Good.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was another thing. I've also started making my own ice cream sandwiches, which is a really exciting thing because I think they're pretty tasty. So I get graham crackers. I'm going to post this on the blog too. I get graham crackers and Cool Whip, and then I put the Cool Whip in between the graham crackers and put it in the freezer, and it's 2 or 3 points depending on how much Cool Whip you use. And it is just as satisfying to me as a Skinny Cow. So
do you measure out the Cool Whip?
I've started to, just to make sure I'm accurate in my accounting.
I feel like I could be better about measuring things when I cook.
Yeah.
So that I know how much is truly going in there. Lisa?
So I don't like to cook per se. I'm saying cook and putting my fingers in quotes. You can't see that on the podcast.
Air quotes.
It's air quotes, yeah. So I would say that being on Weight Watchers, I focused more on lean proteins, which is something that I have not eaten much of in the past. Not that I ate fatty proteins, but I just didn't eat a lot of meat. And I still don't eat a ton of meat, but I feel like Heidi said, like having a meal every day or two where it's like eggs or for me like chicken or something, I feel like that helps. That's helped me be successful. I blogged about it, but like Velveeta was like a huge find because it's only 1 point per slice. And then both of my sisters, I told them about it, and like we all have Velveeta all the time now. So like, no, it's not as great as like normal cheese. Read the blog post. I talk more about it. But
I just thought that turkey that I found, that's 7 pieces per 1 point, with a Velveeta, great sandwich.
Yeah.
With one of those flat out wraps.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's like 4 points, and you stuff it with lettuce and maybe some hummus or something.
And then, like, pot stickers, like those frozen kinds that you boil and you put some teriyaki sauce. Those are, like, 1 point, or some of them are, like, multiple for 1 point.
Yeah.
Depending on the kind. So
Yeah, Trader Joe's.
Yeah. So it's not, I don't know that it's about, for me anyway, like that I've cooked a lot, but I've discovered different sort of foods that help me basically cram more foods into the points, which is the whole goal.
Right.
You're trying to fill yourself
Yeah.
up with the least amount of points. So.
Right.
I've been eating a lot more shrimp.
We went to Mexican the other day and Heidi had shrimp, like not breaded.
Like it's a normal
I know. Well, that's the only way that I normally eat shrimp is breaded, and I'm not a big seafood person, but I've been eating more seafood. I like scallops, but
Yeah.
only when they're cooked perfectly. And they're expensive, but I've been eating scallops and shrimp that's not breaded.
We went to Red Lobster and I had catfish.
Yeah, and it was good.
And it was really good.
And would you have ever
catfish.
tried that without Weight Watchers?
No. I would have had something fried.
Yeah.
With tartar sauce.
With tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it was good.
Well, and we want to hear from you guys. What foods have you tried? What recipes work for you? I'm always looking for I'm a simple recipe person, so like 5 or 6 ingredients. If you've got 12 ingredients, I'm not interested. But,
I'm
Heidi might be.
interested.
Heidi's interested in the complex ones. I'm a beginner cook, so. But let us know what works for you. Be sure to check us out on eatcrunchy.com.
And on Facebook.
And on Facebook. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.